What's up, everyone? Michael and Nick here, and we have a short announcement. Tomorrow is our 2024 webinar.
I'm jacked about this, man. It's going to be so much fun. We've put so much work into it.
Yeah, and it's going to be 60 to 90 minutes, 60 minutes of content, 30 minutes of Q&A. It's free, and the goal of this entire thing is we're here to set this. It's a brand new year, so we're here to give you the right information for marketing, digital marketing, and we're going to slip in a little bit of grassroots marketing, which will be a lot of fun as well. But at the end of the day, if you weren't happy with 2023, 2024 can be your year, and we're going to help you do that with our webinar.
Here's what it is. It is a 90-minute session for you to be able to grow your clinic. Here's what it's not. It is not a 90-minute sales pitch for you to do business with us.
It's not. We're giving you stuff to actually do it yourself.
Yep. I hope you take the opportunity, set some time aside to grow your clinic, and we will see you tomorrow. What's up, everybody? You're listening to Walk-Ins Welcome. This episode is going to be a listener-driven Walk-Ins Welcome. But
fan mail.
I know. We got fan mail or just please help. Right?
Please, for love, help me.
Gotcha.
Maybe that.
I'm Nick, your host. Michael, my other host. And you're listening to Walk-Ins Welcome on a Wednesday. Maybe on a Thursday. Maybe on a Saturday. But we dropped it on Wednesday, and we're glad you're here.
It's Monday for us.
It is Monday for us. Today, typically we record on Thursdays, and then we drop the next week. But we just got out of moving offices, and we still haven't got the podcast room put together, but we will.
Yeah.
Get that put together.
But this is super exciting. This is a fan mail based episode. So they actually, we got the email. This is a really good topic we have not touched, which is really cool. Cause that's kind of, we talk so much, we cover all the conversations, and this one's like, oh, that's a thought we never had before. So Nick, kind of lay us up. What are we doing?
I'm going to make it super easy. I am going to read the email, and I'm just not going to mention anyone's name. Okay. Should we do that?
Go for it. It's not long.
So, no. So, hey, Nick and Michael, I recently discovered your Walk-Ins Welcome podcast, and I'm a big fan. Thank you for providing such high quality content for private practice physicians.
I feel so good.
I know. My husband left the inpatient hospital realm of psychiatry and started an outpatient practice in 2020. What a time to start that. Anyway, it's been a successful and continues to grow, but I'm always looking for ways to improve. It would be amazing if you would talk about marketing for psychiatrists and mental health professionals in an upcoming podcast. When a specialty must go above and beyond to protect patient privacy, huge. And when acting in patients' best interest by denying requests for sedatives and stimulants caused by angry reviews to be written, having a social media presence can be tricky. How can small private practice psychiatrists with limited marketing budgets differentiate that was a hard word, themselves from practices owned by private equity firms? Hope that you and your families are enjoying the holidays, and I'll leave it at that. You know who you are, and we may throw that out later. But with that being said, what a huge topic. So here's, if I'm going to do a 10,000 foot view, new practice, sensitive information, angry reviews due to circumstances out of their control, lots of competition, bigger, aged out, deep pocket competition. So that's kind of the 10,000 foot view.
Yeah. I mean, and honestly, like that's become, I would say urgent cares have a little more fight in that because they don't have huge private equity firms are necessarily going
or
against,
hospitals.
Well, yeah, it's kind of a mix, right?
Right.
But this is very specific, on the psychiatry side. We ourselves as a company, we haven't dealt too much on this side, but your response and your general thought about it was pretty good.
Right.
And so we'll walk through that, but we'll think about, so who's out there?
I'm missing my marker because I wanted to break that down in the notes and now I can't do it.
Yeah. So who's out there, right? Who's out there right now is dealing with this? Who is like, I'm in a particular industry that is, we help people, but the people that we're unable to help or denied to help are angry with us. For whatever reason, because in this scenario, if it's related to like, if psychiatry wise, or if they're dealing with a drug situation, if you're taking away things that make them feel good or changing it on them because it needs to be, you're going to get some anger. I mean, you got to fight that. And how do you look good compared to your competitors that have money, gobs of money just dumping into a firm? And you're like, I'm trying to survive out here.
Well, I say, let's tackle the negative first.
Yeah.
And then let's dive into how you can grow on a limited budget when you have deep pocket competitors out there.
Yeah.
So let's start with negative, and then we'll go into positive and strategy.
Okay.
Okay. So first thing is, let's take a look at the reviews. Okay. So you were mentioning in your emails that you're getting negative reviews that are out of your control. All right. So The biggest thing to identify there is that they are out of your control.
Yeah.
All right. So what can you control? You can control your actions and you can control your attitude. I tell my children this all the time. You can control your actions and you can control your attitude.
Yeah.
All right. So here's actions you can take. Action number one, Michael, I'll let you expand on this whenever you feel froggy, jump in. Action number one is to respond to the review.
Yes.
Respond. You can take action and respond to the review. The second one is actions and attitude, right? The manner in which you respond to it. Do not write your review to that person, your response. You write the response to your audience.
Yes.
Expand on that.
Yeah. I mean, I think one of the best, I don't know, you're having me go through the $100 million leads book.
So good. Alex Hormozy.
Alex Hormozy. By the way, if you're in business and you're trying to grow your business and leads is a thing, it's a great book to go through. I mean, my goodness, it kind of speaks our language.
Yes, it does.
Anyway, but one of the things he had said when it comes to content, write your content every single time like it's a brand new audience where they've never heard you before. So that comes to mind. You write that review response because you're writing into an audience this is the first time they've seen you, right? And it's probably really true because if I'm looking at your reviews, I just stumbled across you because I needed something, and I'm looking at your reviews for the very first time. So you're writing it for those people because at the end of the day, those reviews are not for your current customers. It's for your new customers you haven't met yet.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. That'll preach.
Yeah. So just remind yourself, like, I'm not doing this for the client that lit me on fire. I probably already had a conversation with that customer, right?
If you can imagine 3 chairs in a room, your client, you, and this person over here that's listening to the conversation.
Yeah.
Right? You're a psychiatrist. You could probably, if you're in a marriage situation, you could totally relate to this, right? You have the husband who's pissed off at the wife and the wife who feels a certain way in defense to that, even though it's unwarranted. Maybe the wife is defensive. Anyway, and here you are, the psychiatrist going, hey, I hear you both, but listen up, right? So you want to perform to the psychiatrist. You want to perform to the person who's sitting in that room that you don't know.
You perform to the person that's going to make an impact on you.
I know that sounds crazy, y'all. I get it. Like I feel that, but I want to even put a sticky note on your keyboard or something while you're typing this up. I'm not talking to Mary Jo. I'm talking to that next customer who's going to do business with me.
Yeah. Yeah. The next patient that I haven't talked to yet.
So the right attitude in your response, 1, take action, respond.
Yep.
2, the right attitude in which you do that and who you're talking to.
You never win a defensive argument in a review.
That's right.
I mean, there's like, if I'm not mistaken, you can only respond one time to a review. It's not a conversation that keeps going.
So the one who left the review can change it. And if they leave another review, like if they leave another response to your response, then it opens up again. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense? But no, you can't constantly just.
And you don't want that. You never win. Like, it's just not going to win, period.
Right.
And the reality is, that person left that, if it's a bad review, left it out of anger, and they wanted to not necessarily harm you, but they wanted to warn people. They wanted to warn the audience that you're trying to talk to. Don't talk to these people. Right. Or I had a bad experience. I want them to know about it. So just like how they were trying to talk, not necessarily to you, but to the other people, because they thought if I can harm this business, I can harm it by warning potential new customers. Mm-hmm. There you go. But the reality is you have to be, and I'll talk about the response thing. You need to respond to all reviews, good and bad. I think we have clients that are afraid of that. They're afraid to respond to the bad reviews. They won't even respond to the good reviews. But you got to be equal in this. You can't play bias because it's not going to work for your favor.
And for the love of God, do not bust HIPAA.
Yeah. Don't mention names. Don't mention procedures. Don't mention treatments. Don't mention ailments. Just be very, and we have an entire episode and webinar around the idea of using AI to help with that response, because AI has no emotion to it. So if you need that little bit of, like, I'm afraid to say anything, let AI kind of talk for you for Absolutely. A second. Don't take copy paste it every time, but at least kind of get you moving in the right direction without the emotion.
That's right. So I'm not saying be Captain Positive. I'm just saying, like, check your attitude. Don't bust HIPAA. Reply to every review. That's action number 1, right? Yep. So action number 2 is you don't have to worry about people leaving negative review, but you're going to have to be proactive in garnering reviews from people who had a good experience, because they're just not going to leave a review unless you prompt it, or unless it was such an amazing experience that they had to leave a review. I would probably wager a bet that most people don't want other people to know that they're seeing a psychiatrist.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So here's where I really want to help you out is ask your client for a review. If they're hesitant to do it, ask them to spin up an anonymous Gmail account to leave that review.
Yeah.
You're asking them to go the extra mile, and I get that. So you can also find a way to reward them for that with maybe a gift card or something like that. Here's the caveat. You cannot say a 5-star review if you're going to give them a reward.
Yeah.
Right. So, hey, listen, I know it's going to take time for you to spin up a new Gmail account. And I really appreciate I like to say, I would like to have your honest review, right?
Yeah.
If they're willing to take the time to do that and they leave you 5 stars and you give them a gift card, just make sure that you say an honest review. But here's the point. At the end of the day, you have to solicit your own positive reviews. Negative reviews come organically. Mm-hmm. Positive reviews are solicited, period.
And it's a little bit of a volume game. You have to ask a lot of people. You can't, because even Google's really bad about, hey, thanks for review. I'm not going to post it. I think Google does that too.
Now, we probably fall into a similar situation that you do. Okay. We have probably 39 or 40 reviews, and we've been in business for years.
Yeah.
Right. Why? Well, I don't have 1,000 people that I've done business with.
No.
You probably have a handful, maybe 20, 30, 50, 100 people that you've done business with. A fraction of those are going to leave you a review. Here's how I do reviews. Your opinion really matters to me, and I would love to get an honest review with you because we want to attract more people to our business that are like you. We like doing business with you.
Yeah.
Would you consider leaving us a review? Here's a link. I make it as easy for them as possible. And even out of the hundreds of people that we've done business with, we're still sitting at 39 or 40.
Yeah.
And I've had to beg people to give that. A couple of reasons why. Again, much of the similar situation. A lot of our clients don't want them to know that they're doing business with us because they don't want to give away their secret weapon. I just called ourselves a secret weapon. I know that sounds arrogant. I'm sorry, but
it's real.
Now, on the flip side of that, totally different approach in the psychiatry world is they may not just want people to know that they're going through stuff and they're getting help for it. Right? Mm-hmm. You have to solicit, and you have to give them, you have to make it the easiest way possible for them to get those reviews.
Well, and honestly, I would assume if you have success with a patient in this industry, you're probably changing their lives a little bit, right? Like you're not just like an urgent care changes the life in the moment for a couple of days. They're sick and they feel better, but this could be like a systematic change for somebody's life if you do it right.
Right.
So they should be like a glowing review. If they care about what you did for them and it's all positive, they should have no reason not to be able to do this. And it's okay if they go into some details like this. They obviously you're not breaking HIPAA if they're going into details that you can't control. So
that's right.
You have to remind yourself of that. HIPAA can't come after you if a customer wrote a review that revealed stuff of themselves. Like that's like me saying I have a back issue. Like
right.
I have scoliosis, and so like that's not a breaking a HIPAA violation because I did it to myself.
Well, I don't think you did scoliosis to yourself, but
the idea of revealing my ailment—that's
what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I broke my arm, but I would even say, Michael, from my perspective, just for pure. Hey, I'm so glad we were able to help you. And that'd be the extent of it. I wouldn't even acknowledge the fact that you served with their broken arm. I would just acknowledge the fact that we're glad you came in.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm very cautious when it comes to HIPAA. I don't know.
You should.
I'm a conspiracy theorist. I think our government's out to get us, man.
Well, and like if somebody says, hey, I broke my arm and they fixed it, you say, well, thank you for coming in and allowing us to help you.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful response. And also being proactive that you were talking about taking action, right? Mm-hmm. Like, respond to all the reviews, not just the negative ones.
Now, if you haven't, because somebody said, I got like 100 reviews I've never responded to over the years, you don't have to respond to all of those because that's years, right? Right. Maybe the past 3 months and start going.
Pick 90 days worth of reviews if you got a ton of them and go back. If you do have 5 years worth of reviews and there's only 39 like us, I mean, I remember last year or maybe the year before I went back and just answered as many as I could remember. So anyway, all right. So that's respond to the negative reviews. And then my last encouragement for you, I love the fact that you won't prescribe meds and pain meds and stuff like that, or whatever that was, antidepressants. I don't even know what they are, but manage to your standards, not theirs.
Mm.
It'd be the last thing. Your standards, not theirs. We have core values, used to be on our wall, but we haven't put them back up yet because we've been in transit or transition, right?
Mm.
But we have 4 core values, and I tell my team all the time, manage to our core values. Like those are the standards, not what our client puts on us. Our clients are putting their standards on us. That's not how we hold ourselves accountable, not around here. Now, our standards, though, are so high that you're probably going to fit well in our standards, right? So it's not a conflict.
Yeah.
Okay. So moving on to the second part of your email is how do we stand out in marketing when we have a small budget, right? And it's a competitive market.
Yeah, and you say small budget, so we don't know what that budget actually is, right? We weren't given a value. Let's make an assumption.
I have determined that a $20,000 a month ad spend budget is small for some people, and a $2,000 a month ad spend budget is enormous for others.
Yeah,
there's a gambit there.
So all intents and purposes there. So let's just say you have a small budget's $1,000 a month to spend on marketing. We'll just say that's a number, right? So we'll live in that world. So what was your general thought and response to her on this?
Well, first of all, I resonate really well with the storyteller.
Yes.
Okay. So if you go back and listen to our last episode of 2023, I think I labeled it, "This is an ad," right? I told 3 stories in there, right? I didn't tell the name of the company. I didn't give the name of the owners. I didn't do any of that. Mm-hmm. All I did is I told the story and I promoted and pushed out that story. Yep. All right. So let's just say that you're dealing with a patient. Obviously, you can't disclose situations, but you can change names or omit names. You can change ailments or you can omit ailments. You can be a little bit more generic, but just imagine I was dealing with this person that came into my office who was dealing with major issues in this part of their life.
Yeah.
You know, over the past 6 months, we've had week after week of just unpacking, and then boom, on week 6, we had a breakthrough and this person's life just totally changed.
Yeah.
And I'm just so honored to have been a part of that. And I want to be a part of your story too. We can help you unlock and unpack and get all that baggage unloaded so that you can live the kind of life that you know you deserve.
Mm-hmm.
Free consultation. Give me a call. We'll schedule a 15-minute over the phone consultation. That's going to resonate with people more than just a generic ad.
Well, and I would even say, so you have that version, then you could also go, like, talking about changing names, changing elements. You could live on the side of the impact of their ailment, where you talk about how I can't see my kids right now. Mm-hmm. My spouse or significant other won't talk to me anymore. I've had to move out. I can't control whatever my thoughts are on certain things. Like, live around the circumstances, right? And then we're talking about like small budgets. So you described a video, right? You described a video that what would they do with the video? So, how would they create it? One, if you have a small budget, I'm working with $1,000. That's what I'm thinking in my head. I have $1,000. What do I do? Well, you can't hire a video crew to come out for $1,000, generally speaking, unless you get lucky. But you have a device in your hand. That's probably playing this episode.
Probably.
And it's probably
CarPlay into your car right now.
Yes, and it's probably an iPhone or an Android, and it's probably new. If your phone is less than 2 years old and considered a flagship phone, you have a pretty good video camera in your hand.
It's definitely 4K.
Yeah, exactly. So what do you do with that? All right, I need probably a stand for the phone to sit in. I need to work on a little bit of a script, and then I need to find an area to record it in that makes sense. Mm-hmm. And then maybe have my intern or a friend hit the recording and kind of watch it go, or a coworker, and run through it a few times. Now you got the basis. Now go record a little bit of B-roll is what we call it. So it's where you just record things that are like backgrounds and things that make sense. Or you simply go into Canva and grab a couple of them, right? Now, depending on the length of the video, you can go to like an Upwork or some type of outsourced online something that you hand the video. I need a video to come back to me. Now, will the quality bidder? Don't really know. You're going to have to check out their portfolio to make sense. But you can hire a video editor and hand them video a lot cheaper than hiring a full crew. Mm-hmm. And what do you want out of it? You want a 30-second clip type video. It depends on how long you want a short form and a long form. Or as I heard in the book, multiple short forms becomes a long form.
That's right.
So if you have like a 3-minute video, there's your long form. You chopped up into 6 segments. Now you have short form videos out of it. What do you do with that? You take that video and you're happy with it, right? You put it on your website. That's a starting point. You put it on social. That's your next point. You may push some money behind it on social to get it out there. Mm-hmm. That's the next layer. So with $1,000, you can move some content around and make some improvements and adjustments, and that's pretty well. And that's just like the beginning pieces. Is it super polished? No.
Does it need to be?
No. You're not big. You're not the private equity firm competitors that have millions of dollars they throw at stuff. You're like, I want this to be real and who I am, and here I am, and people consume through that video every time. But that was just my thinking through it. Like, if you're under a small budget, $1,000, we'll say this is what you could actually do.
Well, so let's talk about that for just a second. When you say budget, right? So you're going to have a cost of doing marketing. I'm sorry.
Yes,
I'm sorry. It's either going to cost you your time, it's going to cost you in missed opportunity, or it's going to cost you in dollars.
Yep.
There's a cost. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, right? The budget isn't small, then your time budget needs to expand.
Yep.
Right.
That's the only budget you can give, right?
You use your budget for marketing to buy your time back.
Yes.
Right. So, I'm going to do the 1 hour a week method. That's what I like. I like to take, this is what I used to do. I've got a whole team now, thank God. But it used to be where I would take the first hour on Monday and I would cut my videos, write my blog content, do whatever I'm going to do, schedule out my posts for the week. All of that was done on Monday for 1 hour because that's the time I had to give to my marketing.
Yeah.
Right. And then I hired a Hannah.
Yeah.
She took all that off me. But let's go back to that video that you were talking about. Now we're talking about distribution when you talk about that content, breaking it up. You can take that video that you created and you can throw it into Descript, which is a software. They have a free version.
There's like a $10 version. Like it's very little.
Take that transcript that it pulls for you from that video, throw it into ChatGPT and say, turn this into a 1,200 word blog post for me. All right. And then right after that, write a YouTube description.
Yep.
Take that video, put it on YouTube. Take that transcription, put it on a blog post, embed that YouTube video into that blog. I know it sounds technical. It's really not. Your website should do this. Like even if you're running a Wix or a Squarespace or something, like it's super easy to do. Just hit the video button and drop the URL to the video, the website address to that video. And then add that YouTube description and put it right in there, right? And then distribute it through your social media channels. This is taking a small budget and your time and you're distributing content. And then you have to find time on a Monday or a Tuesday or a Friday or whatever time's best for you for 1 hour and be intentional about your marketing for that 1 hour. There will come a time where you can buy that time back, right? But that's how you compete with the big boys or the big girls.
Yeah.
Right? You do your marketing while they are paying someone else to do their marketing. The marketing is the same.
Yeah. I mean, and that's just the reality of any business, right? Any small business where you have to put in the hours at first. Hopefully you reap the benefits over time and then you can put the more dollars in. And also too, don't think that piece of content you create, but all that time effort that he just described is a one-time shot.
Right.
You can reuse that content quite a bit over time.
We call it evergreen.
Yeah. Evergreen content. And it's something where it's not specific enough to an event or some type of date. So you can reuse it. Because your audience, generally speaking, you, like I said earlier, you speak to your audience like it's the first time they've ever seen you.
Right.
And if that is your star content that gets responses, you should put it up there pretty often.
Michael, pull your phone open real quick and open up your contacts and tell me just how many contacts do you have? We need to add that Jeopardy sound to our. Actually, we'll probably get flagged. I don't know. Let's just say there's
1,482.
Okay, you have 1,482. If you're listening right now and you're not driving, open up your phone and open up your contacts and just count how many contacts you have. I probably have maybe 1,000, right?
Yeah.
Your network is your net worth.
Yes.
Okay. I don't care how good you are at paying Google, Facebook, whoever, your phone and your contact list, that is what you own. It's what you own. So type up an email, get a free MailChimp account, upload your contacts into MailChimp, take that same content that you just produced, that same story that you told, distribute it through your emails, your existing list, right? Grow that list, but distribute it through your existing list of emails that you have, everybody you know, because if you're in the psychiatry world, chances are they probably know somebody who may need your help. That's referral business. That's how you grow organically. Guess how many of my friends, family, all of the people that just barely knew my name anymore got emails from me when I first started my company?
Yeah.
100% of them. I didn't leave anybody out. I think I even got an ex-girlfriend in there by accident. You know?
Well, and so there's something that you said quickly that we don't want to gloss over or glaze over. That 1,000 or 1,500 contacts, they're not necessary. You're not trying to say they're my next customer, but they may know your next customer.
That's it.
So don't feel like you're blowing, not hating MLMs in the world, but you all have gotten that personal, hey, do you need this? And that's not what you're asking. It's more of, I'm offering this. If you know anybody that falls into that category that could probably benefit, and you know me well enough.
Just forward it to them.
Yeah,
just
forward it. You don't have to tell me you did it. Just send it along to somebody you actually could think that could benefit from this. And that's all you want. But the reality of it is they'll do that, and then they'll say, well, I might, maybe. And then, and it's not an instant turn on, right? It takes some time. Everything takes a little bit of time. And so, but no, just remind yourself of that, because you were I'm not going to blow up my friends. That's not very cool of me. Blow up. You're not. You're just saying, hey, friend, if you don't have to do anything with this message, but if you know anybody that might benefit from my service or product that I've now started, just send them this info. Just forward it. Or you can send back, hey, call so-and-so or email so-and-so. And then you can always use their name after that. So,
and here's the cool part. When you do what I originally talked about, which is put that information into MailChimp, which is it starts out free, right?
Up to 1,000.
Yeah. So if you put it in there, well, they can hit unsubscribe and you won't be annoying them anymore.
And
so it's okay.
And the worst that could happen is that you get like 10% unsubscribe and MailChimp just turns off that account. Yeah. And you just go make another account.
Exactly. So imagine for just a second that you have 12 stories and you tell those 12 stories once a month over a 12-month period. And you send it out to those contacts, and those contacts will continue to expand as you get more contacts. I guarantee you, at the end of 12 months, after you've told those stories to that many people, they've shared it, and you've got new customers coming through the door that you didn't pay a single dollar for, but you paid for in time.
Yep.
Okay. That's what I have for this email.
All right. Well, there you go, guys. The power of an email. It turned into a 26-minute episode.
Right.
And literally what we're telling you on this episode is how a consultation would kind of go, right? If you hit us up, say, I got this problem, what could you suggest? This is our conversation that we essentially would have.
That's right.
And so this is just being honest about the whole thing, because we know it's hard. We know everything out there is not supposed to be easy. And so we're here just to help. We're going to share our knowledge to our best of our abilities. And then the only part you ever pay us for is the implementation of our knowledge.
That's right.
And we're all about that. So thank you guys for listening. Please send us an email if you got questions about this episode, or if you have something going on you'd love to have the episode to talk about. hello@patientcaremarketingpros.com.
And please go leave us a review.
Yes.
All right. Have a great week. We'll see you next week.